Hey guys, Brandon Woolham hanging out in Nashville today with our friend Lizzie Morgan. How are you?
Hi, I'm good. Happy to be here.
Yeah, the new album, Not My Will, going to be out August 22nd.
Yes, yeah.
But first, we got to start with the story because you've
Yes.
been in here 3 times.
Yes.
All 3 times with different people, different brands.
Yep.
So these folks, they may have seen you on a stage, may have heard that voice,
Yeah.
but they don't know it yet. So tell us the Lizzie story.
Yeah, I grew up in Nashville, born and raised here. No one's born and raised here anymore, so I'm grateful for that. But my whole family's here. My grandparents have pastored the same church since I was a little girl. Full of a family of music. My grandmother plays organ, grandfather plays guitar, dad sings. You're weird in our family if you don't sing. But I grew up singing. I grew up in church, always loved leading worship, and then got to sing some with Lauren Daigle, sing background with her, and got to sing with Maverick City. So just been a crazy, wild ride, and now finally releasing my first solo project.
Yeah, it's crazy that the debut album is coming now after such a life of music.
Yeah.
All these years later, we
Yes.
finally get the debut album.
Yeah.
So being intertwined with those artists like Lauren Daigle and
Yeah.
Maverick City Music, how has that prepared you as you step out here on your own?
It's like something that I feel like I preach about all the time now, because I'm just like, I so can see how God had his hand on me in those seasons, because I really remember watching Lauren, not just watching her sing, but watching how she would treat people, how she would do social media. And I see now, like, God really had me in rooms and in positions to learn from people to prepare me for this season now. And so I feel like I'm always like, wherever you are, you got to pay attention, because like God has you there for a reason, for whatever's next for you. And so I really, really do feel like it was like God's grace to put me in rooms with those people and let me see them up close and really learn from them in that way to prepare me for what I'm doing now.
Yeah, Not My Will going to be out there August 22nd.
Yep.
Kind of a little old school with this album, because most of the time now we've already heard half the album if we're
Yeah.
this close. You have not done it that way. We've really only heard the first single.
One song.
And we're only a few weeks away.
Yeah.
So let's talk about that single. You performed it here for us today. Yeah. Give us the background on the single.
It's called Let the Alabaster Break. And it's funny. It was like one of the songs that almost didn't make it. But Jason Ingram produced the record, and we were kind of towards the end, and he sent me this song, and he was like, hey, I wrote this song. I feel like you'd be great on it. And I remember before ever hearing it, just the title intrigued me, because I grew up singing Alabaster Box and it being just an anthem in my house. One of the first songs that I really remember experiencing the presence of the Lord. So I was intrigued just by the title alone. But then I played it, and I remember going to Jason and being like, okay, I like it, but like, I'm not sure. And then he had me put my vocal on it. And I remember singing it and just feeling like it really was written for me. It was easy to sing. It felt like the lyrics too, just it being a song about really breaking open your alabaster box at the feet of Jesus and giving him everything that you have, everything that's valuable to you. And so I felt like we were still missing that song out of the bunch of songs that we did have. And so it just felt like the kind of the bow, and it was that last finishing thing that we needed for the record. And so when we sang it, we actually added Alabaster Box on the end of it. And it was just really, really special, because there was so much nostalgia there. I grew up on that song, and then getting it to pair it with this new song that even now with it being out, seeing different generations grab different pieces of the song has been really, really sweet.
Yeah, this album here recorded live here in Nashville with lots of friends, folks you've been around all your life.
Yeah.
Did that provide an extra comfort instead of going into a traditional studio setup?
Oh my gosh, yes, because I did record in studios for the last few years, and it was hard because I'm just such a church kid. Like, I grew up singing on stages, singing in front of people, and that is actually just way more comfortable to me than being in a studio. And so yeah, I just remember being there and like looking out in the crowd. My grandparents were there, my dad, my little sister, all my siblings were there. And so it was very, very special for me to get to have that moment with all of them there.
Yeah, once we get to unleash this album out there, we're going to get to hear some guest collaborations on there too.
Yeah.
Seth Schleter,
yes,
and a few others are on there that we're gonna recognize the names. Ryan's on there, Jonathan
and Jonathan Stanford.
Yeah. So we haven't got to hear any of these yet. How do these collaborations come to be?
When I was choosing features, I chose people that I've done life with and that I'm friends with. I have toured with Ryan and toured with Seth, and me and Jonathan have become really good friends in the last few years. And Jonathan helped write this record also. He wrote on a few songs. And so I really chose people not based off like their numbers or who they know or anything like that, but people that I've done life with, and like they've walked me through seasons of like different things with the Lord, and like these people have seen me go through heartache, be on mountaintop moments. We've lived life together, and so I think that was something that was really special, is to be up there with friends and get to minister to the Lord together. And so yeah, I was really grateful that they all said yes.
With this being the debut album, oftentimes some of these songs come from out of the archives from years ago. Sometimes they're from a fresh season.
Yeah.
Where did these songs come from? Are they all kind of recent Lizzie songs, or have you pulled some of these out of your younger days?
A lot of them are recent. Pull Me Close is a song that I had written years ago, and I never got the chance to record it. And then I finally did. And me and Ryan actually wrote that together with Jason years back. And then, so we brought it up from a few years ago and finally got to sing it. So that was really cool. But also there's like a bunch of old hymns throughout the record that you'll hear. So there's some old school stuff in there that I grew up on. I just can't get away from it. I love that stuff. And so that's all on the record as well.
How do you take that traditional worship sound and kind of blend it with the more modern worship we're getting out there today?
I feel like for me, it's always been something that I feel like has come easy. And I think it's because I just grew up singing those songs, and I was kind of the younger one. So when I was like 16, I would try to find ways to mix Bethel songs with a hymn that I knew my grandmother would want me to sing in church. So it's always been, it used to be like a task, like a challenge for me, but now it just comes so naturally. And I also see the value in it, because I really think it's important to have something for everyone. You know, I don't want to just make a record that is just for people my age or just for people who look like me. I want it to be something that a room full of different people can say, oh, she at least gave me that moment that I feel connected to. And so I was really, really intentional about that. But it also just comes very natural to me to go into those old songs, because I've been doing it my whole life. Yeah.
Yeah. Once we get to hear this project on August 22nd, what's that one song on there you can't wait for people to give a real good listen to? Go back, maybe listen to a couple times, and make sure they get a close listen to these lyrics.
I think Not My Will was the sneaky song that grew on me, that I didn't think it would grow on me. And I think it was just because of the lyrics, if I'm honest. Like, we named the record Not My Will just because I think a lot of times, like, we don't necessarily set Christians up for the best success, because we say, oh, just say yes to Jesus. Like, you're in, you're good. But we don't talk about the part where you have to say yes to God's will. And that can be really difficult and really challenging. And on the other side of it, it's so worth it. But before you say yes, it can be hard. And so I think that song specifically has just really been this last season for me, of what it is really like to say yes to the Lord. And while it's so wonderful and you experience so much of His goodness, I think when you say yes to God, it requires a lot of no's to other things, and that can be hard. And so that song has just really, really ministered to me and been really important to me. Yeah.
I look forward to hearing that one.
Thank you.
This album comes out here in a few weeks. You've also been a part of another album release with Red Worship earlier this year.
Yeah.
You lead worship here in the Nashville area. You go back and forth to California leading worship.
Yeah.
How do you balance all this? Because that all sounds pretty wild just saying it, and I'm not living that life.
I don't balance it. That's the truth. If I'm just honest, I remember Naomi talking about this a lot, Naomi Rain, and she always says, it's not a balance. You can't balance it. It's never going to be even. But she just said, like, in different seasons, you know where you're needed more, and you lean into that. And then when the season changes, you lean into the next thing. And I think that I've learned how to do that, just to walk every day and say, you know what, today my family needs me more. I'm going to lean into that. Or, you know what, my church needs me more right now. I'm going to lean into that. And I know that's not always everybody's situation. I've been super blessed to have pastors that allow me to do that. Mm-hmm. Even the people that I work with, my management team, they'll let me, like, if I need a day, they'll let me have a day. And so I've been super, super blessed to be surrounded by people that understand what it's like to walk this out. And it really is. I don't think you can balance all of it. I think it's managing. It's really just managing it all. But I love it also. I'm so grateful. I wake up every single day just like, wow, I'm so grateful that I get to do this. And I think that helps me on the days where I'm tired or I don't feel like doing it.
Yeah, with that much stuff going on, will we get to fit some live dates outside of Nashville and California for this project?
Yes. We're going on tour. I'm opening up for Elevation Rhythm in September, and I'm so pumped. It is like a God dream. I can't believe that I get to go hang out with them. I call them the cool kids. And so I get to go hang out with the cool kids, and I'm very excited about that.
Yeah, so you're just going right to like the big stages with this project, skipping some of the smaller ones.
It's wild. It is so crazy how that worked out. I really can't believe it. And I know when I'm out there with them, I'm going to be like just in disbelief the whole time. But yeah, it's wild.
Yeah, that's awesome. Well, if that's coming near you, go see it and
Yeah.
make sure you stream the album Not My Will from Lizzie Morgan. It's going to be out there on August 22nd.
Thank you so much.